Welcome to the National Snow Show Xtra with Outside and Active and In the Snow magazine. My name is Rob Stewart and I'm here with Olympic snowboarder Billy Morgan. Hi Billy.
Hello.
How you doing?
Yeah, I'm alright.
Yeah, we're here at this big event actually, and it's buzzing out there.
Absolutely, yeah. Wasn't expecting such a big turnout. It's been massive.
So many people. I've just said, I haven't been to a ski show that's been so buzzing and you can't get through the aisle since about 1985.
No, I wasn't at the ski show, but this is a good turnout.
Yeah, it's great. Cool. So, what are you doing here anyway? You just hanging out?
Yeah,
or?
doing a couple of talks. I've brought doing a couple of talks. I brought my biography along for people to get signed or purchase.
Yeah, I've heard about this biography. So, what's obviously it's going to talk about your experiences snowboarding and the Olympics. What are the other things could we look forward to in that book other than the sort of snowboard stuff?
Yeah, it's basically the story of my life, all the kind of stuff. If you've followed my career so far, all the kind of normal stuff in there, but obviously into a lot more detail, how I kind of felt along the way, and lots of insights from Leslie and Hamish and the writer spoke to a lot of other people and the reasons why we do these things, and in a lot more detail and a lot of interesting things have kind of gone into the book, so I'm quite happy with that. Yeah.
Look forward to reading it. I'm going to ask the question that my 12-year-old daughter just asked you when I dragged her in the room to meet you, because I was like, what the 12-year-olds ask, and she said, what's it like going off those big jumps and in the air
and spinning round
what's it like?
Yeah,
I was like, okay, I mean, I wouldn't ask that question to you because it seems a bit strange, but actually I quite liked it. So what is it like when you're up in the air, spinning around?
In a different answer, in more detail, like when you first do these tricks, they're super scary, you've been thinking about them for a while, you're worried about them, you try them, and that buzz you get after learning a new trick you can't beat that feeling. It's like, it's the best, because you've overcome that fear and you've achieved that goal you wanted to achieve. But then once you've been doing triple corks for a while and you've done them for 2 years and you're going from event to event, using those tricks, the fear stays the same, but you don't get the buzz from it anymore.
Okay.
So you just get left with the fear in the end. So do you think it's always scary?
Do you think there's a long-term residual thing? I mean, do you go through life now looking at things in a different way? Like, what's your kind of attitude to risk in normal life? When you're doing anything else, do you think it's different to most people, or is it just?
I managed to find a way to make something extra scary. I always have done. It's kind of like in my head. I can't do something without pushing the boundaries. If I'm by the pool with my mates and there's a ledge, it immediately turns into who's doing flips off the ledge. And
were you always like that as a kid? I mean, were you just freaking your parents out like the whole time?
Yeah, well, my dad was down with it. He was like, climb the tree, do that, do this. And my mum was like, it's in the book. Pulling her hair out, and my dad's just mad Eddie.
Yeah, right.
So I got it from him.
And do you miss that kind of adrenaline buzz? I know, now you're not maybe going off those big jumps anymore, doing the crazy flips in the air. But do you miss that? Is there something inside you that I wish I could still get that feeling?
I can get it elsewhere. Like I got a trials bike. I've been doing a bit of moto trials, and when you're looking up something, you're like, I might crash. And you gun it and you go for it. It's the same thing. You kind of replicate. I mean, it's not the same as going off a massive jump where if it goes really badly, you're probably gonna, it's gonna be bad. But I have always managed to find things to kind of tick that little fear box that I need.
And how if your worst injury that you've had snowboarding? I don't want to dwell into, we want people to go snowboarding, not think that they're going to get injured. But obviously you're at the extreme end of that sport and you have been injured doing what you do. How do you pick yourself up after something like that, and make yourself go up there again? Is it just...
It's just part of it. I mean, if you get put off of your sport by an injury you've had, then then either you didn't love it as much as you thought you did, or you wanted a change or something, but any time I got injured, it was like, right, what do I have to do to go back snowboarding again?
Yeah. So it's that love of the sport just drives you.
I think so, yeah. And then when you're so committed and you're heading towards an Olympic Games and you get injured, you're not just going to be like, oh, I shattered my wrist, I'm going to pull out. You've invested, up to 8 years if you've done another cycle to get to that point. Because I hurt my left knee just before Korea, and we didn't know if I was going to be able to ride or not. I had that little airbag injury. But
it worked out.
It
worked out in the end.
You just get on with it, and it's also nice to have a bit of a rest. I know you're injured and you got to go to the gym, but when you've just been savaging it on the mountain for a while, it's like, sometimes it's like, yes, I'm injured.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
But yeah, kind of. Yeah, no, I mean, yeah.
Well, because if you're waiting for something to heal, it's quite a relaxing time.
Yeah, sure.
As long as you're not like, oh my god, it's really bad, I'm in pain.
Of course.
So it's nice to have an excuse to actually just unwind for a bit.
Yeah, sure. Last season, I loved. You went up to Scotland. I mean, obviously COVID times, and you ended up managing to get up to Scotland in a taxi that was converted into like a home. And it was just incredible. I loved it. I mean, how could you top that this winter? What are you going to do something else like that?
I don't know. I think I'm going to go back to Scotland to do a similar thing. But I mean, maybe it will just become a thing we do every year. Go and convert some sort of vehicle.
Because you never snowboarded in Scotland before that, right?
I'd been a couple of times.
Oh, okay.
But, like the weather wasn't so good.
Yeah.
I'd had a good day, but I was like down the mountain doing some coaching and stuff. But that was really like I hadn't been splitboarding before. I was with Scott, one of my best mates. We had a guide, Rob Kingston, and we were shown the best of the Scottish backcountry. The snow wasn't on point, but it was like kind of untouched because no one was up there, and it was like sun-baked slush backcountry, which is still, it's still deep slush. It kind of still feel, you can still cruise in it. It was great fun, but we just had the whole mountains to ourselves, and it was my first experience of like, splitboarding and like ski touring some backcountry, and it was just mega. Great.
So, like to have those kind of experiences, you can have them in Scotland. I'm sure you've had them in lots of other places as well. But the way you describe it, and your kind of eyes lit up when you talked about Scottish skiing and snowboarding. In your case, that's pretty cool.
It's in our country. We would just headed up the road. We literally jumped in a taxi. We spent half a day converting it, putting some beds in the back, and off we went. And we were there. No Channel Tunnel, no 14-hour drive.
Yeah, I mean, I've done loads of skiing in Scotland over the years, and I do love going up there. I love the environment. I love the mountains. The conditions can be
different
sometimes, and it's totally different. Yeah. Don't expect the Alps, right?
Bird cages and stuff. They're the best. I love it.
Right.
One-man chairlift. When did you ever go on a one-man chairlift?
I mean, those little things, and you get on, and you think, but that's kind of cool, isn't it? And
everyone's been to a shiny ski resort.
It's different. Don't expect the Alps, but go for it. I mean, go to Scotland and enjoy it Absolutely. For what it is. Yeah.
Wait for the weather window and go for it.
And what about what other amazing experiences have you had snowboarding like in the world? What could you, if you could think of one or two experiences that you've had outside of maybe competing?
Outside of competition.
Yeah.
So we went to Davos for a big air contest, and it was dumping so much that it got cancelled.
Right.
For some reason, a lot of John Jackson and a lot of the big kind of John Jackson in there? Whatever. Anyway, the big backcountry dogs were there. And they cancelled the event because they had 90 centimetres of snow overnight or whatever, and we were just off with a pretty much private mountain riding the best powder I've ever had, and that was when I just started kind of competing, and I'd come from Morzine, which is quite low, and I mean and it was just the most unbelievable powder experience ever, following people that know what they're doing.
Yeah, sure.
That was a really good experience for me. I absolutely loved that day.
And that sort of free ride snowboarding stuff, is that kind of something you want to do more of in the future? I mean, is that kind of a focus rather than more on the freestyle side?
Yeah, I think I want to carry on riding and keeping up my freestyle stuff. I love riding the park. Sunny days, hoodie on, having the best time with your mates. That's what I grew up doing, and I love it. But the Scotland trip kind of really opened my eyes to the whole thing around riding backcountry, getting all your gear together, hiking up, enjoying the scenery, taking the mountains in, rather than just being savage in the park and never looking up.
Yeah.
You've got the time.
Yeah.
And you can enjoy it. And it's like, I always saw people hiking up the lift, and I'm sat on the chairlift what is this guy up to? He must be mental. And now that's what I want to do.
Yeah, sure.
It's a weird thing, but that's really attractive to me now that you can just spend some nice time out in nature.
I think obviously the French Alps last season were shut down in terms of the ski lifts, and a lot of people that hadn't ski toured or splitboarded before started to get into that more and more.
Yeah.
It's just something that I think is going to grow.
Yeah. And people can explore more of the mountain. You're not kind of stuck to one bit. I hope people get educated, by the way. Don't buy ski touring stuff and just go off into the backcountry. But
I mean, there are a lot of ski resorts now have got controlled and marked ski touring trails that are safe. So if you want to learn to splitboard or ski tour, You can go on the marked trails, and you don't need, in many cases, you don't need a guide, you don't need avalanche equipment.
So you can get the gear and just go and do it?
You can get the gear and just go and do it. Like, there are ski resorts that have these, basically ski touring parks.
Right.
And I think that's going to grow and grow. And of course,
if you ski down.
And you can ski or snowboard down the piste if you want to.
Oh, roger, okay.
So this is something that's definitely growing, and if you go into the backcountry, obviously that's very, very different, isn't it? You know, you need to either go with a guide, or you need to get educated.
Yeah.
You know, take the avalanche equipment with you, and just know what you're doing, and go with a group. But obviously, we have to say that because that's super important. But you can just go on these marked trails and just enjoy the nature. So that's cool. We touched on it before. I know we said, like, talking about skiing versus snowboarding, it's kind of been done to death, right? We've done that. We're not gonna kind of do that in a way, but a little bit of fun. You know, we were just having a bit of fun about if your son wanted to be a skier, or if my daughter wanted to be a snowboarder. You know, kind of what sort of reaction we'd have from that, and it's just ridiculous. Of course, you know, I don't mind if my daughter wants to be a snowboarder. But you know, people used to come up to me all the time and say, "Oh, you're a skier. Do you snowboard?" And I'd go, "No, I don't snowboard. You know, David Beckham is a footballer. He plays on a grass pitch, but he doesn't play rugby."
Yeah.
No, so
I ski though. I love skiing. Yeah. If I get if I've got a spare couple of days and I'm not like, you know, I haven't got some epic snowboarding to do, I'll chuck a pair of skis on.
I bet you're a really good skier as well.
I'm alright. I can straight line jumps and do backflips. That's it.
So do you? I mean, this is really going to sound like a really stupid question. Do you go for like the biggest, widest, like 115, 120 millimeter ski underfoot?
Normally I just take Paddy's gear.
I bet you can't ski on slalom skis.
Paddy Graham's gear, or I get it in the rental shop that they've got.
Do you?
Whatever. Yeah, I mean, I'm not fussy.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Because I don't have a preference. I just kind of wing it.
And do you quite enjoy the challenge of that? Because it's
just the carving's like on a superbike. I find that carving's really quite cool on skis.
Okay.
I like that feeling. You can really crank it. Like if you get a good carve on some good skis, you can really hammer it. On a snowboard, it will give out before you get that like.
Right. Okay. I really like skiing with snowboarders, not off piste, because off piste it's hard to take the same line if you're traversing, right? And you can sometimes I find it hard to manage.
Lose the snowboarders down the hill.
Lose the snowboarders, and it's hard to do that. But on a piste, I love skiing with snowboarders because of the way they cut round, the angles that a snowboarder can get.
And they don't do quick. Right. I know they seem like they're unpredictable, but if they're good snowboarders, right, they normally take big sweeping lines.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's exactly what I mean. And skiers don't normally do that. So trying to keep up with a snowboarder doing that, I think is great fun. Anyway, right. So your book's
so I digress.
Yeah, exactly. So your book's coming out. What are you going to do? Obviously, you want people to buy your book and read your book. That's what you do. What else are you doing in life? What's happening in Billy Morgan
Lockdown, I built an extension at home and had a baby, a little baby boy. He's
nice.
A year and 3 months
He's
now.
going to be a skier?
Yeah, I mean, whatever he's...
Yeah, anyway,
as long as he's good at it.
From that.
He can only ski if he's good at it.
Okay.
Can't be a bad skier.
Fair enough. And this winter, anything planned?
Yeah, things are starting to kind of pop up. I was worried that it was just going to be COVID forever, and I wasn't making any plans because any plan that I did make kind of went up the chute. But yeah, things are starting to pick up.
Movies in the pipeline, any kind of films?
A couple of filming projects, things I want to do with Red Bull. Yeah.
Where would you like to go? What destination in the world? Anywhere, any mountain in the world that you would like to go snowboarding in, where would it be?
I'd like to go back to India. Okay. Because we couldn't get into Kashmir because there was conflict. But it looked like that was really cool. And I'd just like to go places that you don't normally go. I'd go to Turkey and do some snowboarding, that'd be cool. Yeah. I want to go back to Scotland and do that again. Just anywhere like niche.
So there's not
anywhere. I'll go snowboarding anywhere. I don't care at the moment. It's been so long. Take me snowboarding.
Oh man, I know. It's been ridiculous. A winter without skiing last year for me is
I've been to the dry slope,
Did you?
It's down Warmwell. We've got a good jump there. The scene down there is actually quite good.
In Bournemouth?
Yeah, no. Dorchester.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, down Weymouth way.
Okay.
It's mega, yeah.
Oh, nice.
It's just good fun, riding some rails and hanging out with the kids.
Yeah, I did a few turns a few weeks ago at the Snow Centre in Hemel, and actually, well, yes. No, I made some little wiggly ones, like
right.
skiers do, those kind of noodly turns.
I know that,
And it was like, you know what? It's just brilliant to be skiing. I mean, even though it was indoors and on a slope, I mean, it's a brilliant facility there. But normally I'd be like, yeah, it's cool, but I loved it.
Yeah, that's it. Take anything at the moment.
We need to go skiing and snowboarding together then.
Man, for sure.
Let's do it this winter.
Definitely.
We'll make that happen. Thanks, Billy. Have a good one. Thanks very much.
Ciao.